Alright, I tried to sell below the signal bar, and I put my order below it, but for some reason it filled me even though this bar didn't trigger. The current bar didn't go below the prior bar, so it didn't trigger me, but somehow it still filled me. So I'm in the trade for one share, um, looking for two legs up. Um, so failure, second failed breakout at the open of the day, two-legged bear flag. So if we don't get good follow through on this bar, I was gonna look to exit. It doesn't look perfect. Decent bull bar here and a small signal bar, so not a perfect setup. I was planning to get out on the entry bar if it wasn't a good bar. So we'll see how this bar looks. But it also has the opportunity to for a possible swing down. So I thought it'd be worth it to take the shot on it. So I'm looking for at least a bear bar on the entry bar to stay in. Alright, decent bar there, not great, but it was a bear bar closing near its low, so I was hoping for a more aggressive entry bar, but it was the minimum I was looking for, so I will stay in. And my expectations are a little bit higher for the follow through, so if the follow through is also not strong, then I'll look to exit. I feel like I might overmanage this trade, so I'm actually just gonna leave my stop loss in, and just come back in 10 minutes. Just go for a walk or something. And I feel like I'm getting antsy to exit the trade, so I'm gonna just leave it and see what happens. Alright, so we didn't get the follow through that I wanted. It was just a very small doji. I think it has a bull body. So I'm gonna exit above it and just triggered it. Instead of just exiting at the close like I used to do, I just moved my stop to above the bar. So if we continue to go down, which it looked like we were gonna do for the first 30 seconds of the bar, I would still be in. But if it goes up above that bar, then I don't want to be in the trade, and I would just exit. So I gave myself a chance if we continue to move down, but instead we reversed and hit my stop loss. So I ended up getting out break even, 3 cents. And I think that was the right decision. It looks like it was so far. It just wasn't strong. The signal bar wasn't as good as I normally like it to be. The entry bar wasn't as strong as I like it to be, but it wasn't terrible. And then smaller body on follow through bar and a bull body, so that just turns into a bull flag on the 1 minute chart like this. So it looks like it was a decent read so far. We'll see what happens. If we get a second entry for a sell, then I'll likely take that if it looks good. Also, I was supposed to be gone for a walk, but I just kept looking at it and I realized that I have to manage the follow through bar, so I need to make sure I see how that closes. So the walk didn't really work, but I'm glad that I realized that the follow through bar is the management bar for me, so I had to see how that closed. Alright, so I would have gotten stopped out on this bar right here, so good management for this trade. Now we got a second entry. So, well, a third entry, but there's a failed breakout above. We got a bear signal bar. So this was the first entry, the one I took. It didn't work out. Then we got a second entry here. So I got in. I actually hesitated and decided to put a limit order at the low of this bar. So if it came back and retested, then I would get triggered in. So now I'm short here below this bar. I'm feeling a little bit of extra pressure because it's my 300th trade, so it's the last trade of this batch. So I'm hoping it's a good one, but this is what I was waiting for, so I think it is a good sell. So I'll leave it. I'll leave my stop in and see how it acts. Alright, so I got stopped out on that one. About 75 cents. I'm not sure about this one actually. I thought it was okay. I thought it was higher probability than my first one. And that's why when I saw the next bar, I didn't overmanage it, because I thought as it is, it's higher probability, so I don't want to mess with it. Now, had the follow through bar also been a weak bar, I would have tried to get out break even, but it just stopped me out on the follow through bar, so didn't get a chance to do that. But I'm not really sure if about the setup itself. I don't know if it was the wrong call, if I'm missing something about why I shouldn't have taken it. So this one I was okay with. I thought I was okay with taking it. I was okay with the management. This one, it did something that I didn't expect, so I'm assuming it's because I made the wrong call on the sell. So this one I'll have to look into. But that's 300, big break in the middle. So not a clean 300,